This was back in college. A few of my friends threw a party at their house. We were all drinking and having a grand time. I met an attractive looking man, and we really hit it off. Later that night, when everyone had gone to bed, we were hanging out in the living room and we started hooking up. In the middle of my shirt coming off, the lights go on, and I hear my friend Tyson say, "What the f?" I look behind me to apologize, but Tyson's not looking at me. In a chair to my right, wearing nothing but a pair of boxers, is my friend Richard, sitting with his legs crossed, a glass of whiskey in his hand, watching me and this guy hook up. He looks me directly in the eyes and says, "Please, continue." I have so many stories about my friend Richard. I'm sure many of you have been drunk to the point of throwing up. Natural reaction, right? Your body wants to rid itself of the toxins, and vomiting is the common method. Well, an old housemate of mine does not, cannot, and will not throw up alcohol. One evening, he had gone out to a fancy-ish restaurant with some new clients in a fairly nice suit. Around 2 a.m., he drunkenly stumbles back into the house as I'm sitting there on the Xbox. He sits down, and a smell starts rising. With eyes watering, I compliment him on the excellence of his flatulence and continue trying to own some noobs. He starts drunkenly mumbling about how good a night he's had, etc. My game ends, and I turn the TV over to him. At this time, the aroma is spreading, and the room seems to be taking on a slight sepia tinge, though that may well have been my imagination. Eventually, the housemate stands up and waddles to the bathroom, and the nostril-scorching scent recedes. After an hour or so of him being in there, I decide that making sure he survives is no longer my responsibility and go to my room. The following morning, the source of the smell was made quite clear. My housemate's method of removing alcohol from his body was to shit it out, and he had been doing so since before he had even walked in the front door. He had left the room when the poop soup had started trickling from his trousers and left a trail of fecal footprints leading to the bathroom. The waddle that I thought had been a drunken attempt to stay upright was in actuality the walk of a man whose only aim in life is to not leak any more diarrhea outside of his boxers. I can only conclude that he had in fact exploded when he got there, given the fact that the bathroom now resembled a Jackson Pollock painting in monochromatic brown. He wisely destroyed his suit to remove some of the evidence. How even the jacket had become crap-stained, I have no idea. The shoes were possibly the worst, coated inside and out with his stool. He ended up trying to blame the dog. Nice try. It was days before any of us could enter the lounge or bathroom again without smelling it. We even wondered about throwing the sofas away and getting new ones. I went to Tahoe with some friends and ended up gambling at the blackjack tables. At one table, there were two guys sitting next to us that were completely wasted and being hilarious. One of the guys gets a 21, stands up and yells at the top of his lungs, "Winner, winner, apple pie!" I look at the guy and say, "What the f***? I thought it was chicken dinner." He replies, "Nobody f***ing likes chicken, but everybody loves apple pie." I've been saying that phrase ever since. My uncle had been drinking Jack Daniels all day one Christmas, and he started to complain that his current drink tasted funny. He said that it tasted soapy, so he started telling my mom that she probably hadn't rinsed the glass out well enough, and that there was leftover soap in it. Now, of course, we're not the type of family that wastes perfectly good Jack Daniels, so he keeps drinking all the while telling my mom off about how she should rinse the dishes better. He finally finishes his drink, and there sitting in the bottom is a stink bug, with arms and legs missing, so he must have swallowed bits and pieces of that stink bug. He was so grossed out, and his reaction was priceless. So now every time he has a drink, everyone tells him to check for stink bugs. Myself and two other male friends were vacationing in Cancun one spring. It was our second day there, and we had been into the tequila and infamous all-inclusive hotel food all day long, stuffed from tacos, hot dogs, and undercooked burgers for the last 4 meals. That night, the three of us were out at a club when Nathan had to leave because he was too drunk. So, he took a cab back to the hotel while we stayed. A couple hours later, myself and the other guy pick up 2 girls and bring them back to the hotel. The hotel room was set up like an apartment with 2 bedrooms. One room had a king-size bed, which drunk Nathan was sleeping in, and the other had 2 queen-size beds, which unfortunately meant that the 4 of us were going to be sharing the room for the night. At least that's what we had planned on. We weren't even home for 20 minutes when one of the girls says she smells something weird. We all agree. She opens the door, looks into the living room/kitchen area, and lets out the most horrific scream that has haunted my dreams ever since. Both girls sprint out the front door before we can ask what's wrong, and we never see them again. Great. Second night in Cancun and still haven't gotten any action. We look out the door to see that Nathan has sprayed diarrhea all over the kitchen and living room. We didn't realize it until after, but when he's drunk, he tends to sleepwalk. If you have ever seen the movie Dumb and Dumberer, it was like that bathroom scene where Lloyd rubs the chocolate bar everywhere. There was shit on both couches, the kitchen counter, the kitchen chairs, even on some of the clothes that had been sitting out. Awesome. A quick disaster scene analysis led me to believe that Nathan thought a bar stool was the toilet, so he sat down on it and emptied his colon. After that, he just wandered around drunk and asleep, dripping semi-liquid poop all along the way. We barricaded ourselves in the other room and dealt with the entire cleaning staff and hotel management in the morning.